Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, I just thought I'd try something a little different today, and that is a video without my ugly mug in it, so maybe everyone would actually watch a little more of this video. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show, everybody's talking about the sand bass run, and so I thought I would show you the lures. I haven't seen anybody really go over the lures they're using, or what they're doing, or why they're doing it. So I thought I'd do that real quick. I've got some of the jigs and lures that I use out in front of you. I've got the Mr. Crappie. It's called the Joker. It's a 2-inch with, it's got all these little legs coming off of it, and they really seem to like it. That's this bait right here on a beetle spin. And I've got some bonehead tackle flukes. I've got various colors of those right here. And I've got the glow in the dark, and then the salt and pepper metal flake. And then I've also got one of my favorites. I've caught everything on these. This is the Lake Fork Tackle Baby Shad, and it has the boot tail. And of course, these are the flukes I was talking to you about from Bonehead Tackle. They make great jigs, lures. I've caught tons of sand bass, tons of crappie, tons of largemouth and sand bass. I mean, hybrid stripers and stripers on it. But one of the big things you want to do is you always want to have different weights of jig heads, because this time of year that current can really vary. And so sometimes you want a really light jig head like that one. Sometimes you want a little heavier, and sometimes you want something in between. But it's always a good idea to have a variety of weights of jig heads so that you can meet the current and you can have that bait moving in that current the way the fish and the speed that they want it. And if you'll notice too, one of the things I've got here is I have got a lot of baits that have some form of blade on it. I've got the beetle spin, which has been a fish catcher for generations. It is one of the best baits you can use. And I've got several of those. And then I've got, of course, the standby Roadrunner jig head. And I've got quite a few of those. And I've got this little underspin that I got from Brady's bait box. It has just been an awesome bait for me. And I've caught a lot of fish with it. I use it in the summertime when I'm trolling for sand bass because of that big willow leaf blade that just gives it all kinds of flash. There's one of the Lake Fork Baby Shad. You can see that big boot tail jig. That gives that bait all kinds of movement. On the Joker, the Mr. Crappie, you can see those tail. I mean, they're doing all kinds of things. And then there's just a standard hair jig. I've caught tons of fish, especially sand bass, on a little standard hair jig. I've also got something here I thought you guys might be interested that's worked for me in the past. I've got a slip bobber, and then I also have, of course, the bobber stops and the little glass beads. This can really work sometimes if you've got a current and you want to cast to a far bank and you want to let that bait just drift with the current, and you can just set the depth on the bobber with that slip bobber, and you can just get it out there and just work it as you want it to catch the fish. But the reason that I have these spinners and some without spinners is sometimes that water's clear and you don't really need the flash, but all you need is the visual key indication of the bait. And some of these baits, like this boot tail jig from Lake Fork Tackle, they actually put out a lot of vibration. Sand bass typically feed two ways. They feed by either vibration or sight. So when you have these little blades on here, that gives you vibration, and it gives you also a visual clue that that's something that they want to eat with that flash. So it's always a good idea to just have, like I say, again, different sizes of lures, different sizes of jig heads. You want something, if the water's murky, you especially want that flash. And the great thing about Lake Fork Tackle is they infuse all their baits with a garlic scent. So push comes to shove, you've got vibration from the tail itself. You've got vibration from the jig head you might put it on. And then you also have scent. Anytime you can have multiple items, flash, vibration, scent, realism, those are things that the fish clue on, and those are things that you want to use when you're fishing. So again, I just wanted to, I see a lot of these baits being fished with by the people that are doing the videos on the white bass run, but I don't see a whole lot of them going over the actual baits that were used. So I thought I wanted to go ahead and do that for you real quick and let you know what we're going to use when we're up in the creek chasing the white bass. And I so appreciate you taking the time to watch this. Everybody have a wonderfully blessed day. And remember, in Christ, we are more than conquerors. God bless.